Hey there friends, Katie here from Shangri Gardens. Since you're not able to come to us, we wanted to come to you. Today we're going to be talking all about the different protective coverings that some animals have that enable them to survive. Follow me as we meet a few friends of mine. Oh man, it's such a lovely day. I think I might go for a hike. But before I do that, I better eat a snack. Luckily I brought these delicious goldfish. Oh man! All my goldfish are crunched up. How did this happen every time? If only I had some sort of protective armor or something that could keep them from crunching. Whoa, whoa. Who are you?
Oh, I'm an armadillo. I heard you were talking about protective armor.
An armadillo? What do you know about it?
Well, armadillo, I'm the expert. Take a look at this armor I've got on my back.
Oh, wow.
I just curl up like a ball when I'm scared and I'm protected. That's what you need.
Wow, man, maybe I could start thinking about how I could make something to curl up in a ball that could protect my crackers from getting crunched. What a great idea. Do you know anyone else who has any armor?
I sure do. Let me call them over. I think they're coming.
I guess the armadillo has some more friends coming to teach us about armor. Whoa, what are you?
I'm a crawfish. You don't know me?
Well, I thought you looked different than that armadillo. What kind of armor do you have?
Well, I have a hard shell, but that armadillo is obsessed with shells. What you need are pinchers like this.
Pinchers?
That way, if anything comes near you, you can scare them away.
That's what my crackers need. They need a hard outer shell, and they need pinchers to protect themselves. What a great idea.
I think there's one more animal out here that might be able to help. So,
all right, I'll wait right here. See you later. Okay, so I've met an armadillo who has a hard shell that can curl up and protect its inside. And then I met a crawfish. And the crawfish had a shell, but it also had pinchers to protect it. Those are great ideas for keeping my crackers from getting smushed. Oh, wait, here comes something else. Oh, I think you misunderstood. I'm looking for, I'm learning about armor and how animals protect themselves. What's a little baby wood duck doing here?
Oh, they didn't tell you about me at all. I've got very special protection.
What kind of protection do you have?
Well, when I'm ready to fly in the tall tree, Mama Duck goes, jump. And it's scary, but you know we do that. We jump, and then we fly down to the surface and hit the ground. But guess what?
What?
I have an air sac that's kind of like an airbag that pops when I hit the ground, and it protects me from a big fall.
Whoa, you have like a bubble wrap?
Just like that. And so I know they think that being big and scary is good, but there's other ways to protect yourself too. Don't forget.
What a great idea. Thanks, Wood Duck. So I could take my crackers and I could make him a hard outer shell with pinchers and then wrap them in bubble wrap, just like the wood duck has that air sac on its chest to protect it when it falls. What a great idea. All right, before I go on this hike, I better go back and work on my protection for my crackers. See you later. So we saw from our friends in the skit all the different adaptations that an animal might have in order to protect them and help keep them safe. But let me ask you this question. What would happen if all animals looked the same, had the same adaptations for protection, lived in the same place, and ate all the same food? That's right, there wouldn't be enough of it. So because of this, animals have to adapt to their own special ecological niche. Now, when I say that word, I want you to know that there are two ways to pronounce it, depending on where you live. It might be called a niche, or it might be called a niche. Either way is correct. Animals have different adaptations that allow them to survive in a specific niche. It's kind of like a specialty. It gives them a better ability to have access to food, water, shelter, and even to protect them. So think of a beaver. It's got all that thick fur and it doesn't let that water get in. That's a specialty adaptation that helps it survive and stay warm even in cold waters. Think about an alligator gar and its super tough scales. Swimming around in those murky waters, it helps provide it protection from predators, maybe even an alligator, who knows. So follow me as we explore some protective coverings you might find on different animals out here at Shangri-La. Our first animal up is the turtle. A turtle is a reptile with a hard outer shell. This shell is like a home and protection all in one. So the turtle shells are actually covered with a material that helps the turtle be camouflaged and hide it from predators. And if a predator is coming down to eat a turtle, that turtle can climb back in there and help protect itself, because it'd be hard to get through this if you were a predator. Now, the turtle's shell is actually attached to the turtle's vertebrae. And so we don't get to see this very often, but we're lucky enough to see it on this shell. And that enables the turtle to carry around this heavy shell. Now, while this does slow the turtle down a little bit, this is such an awesome source of immediate protection and shelter for this reptile. The next reptile that we're going to talk about is the snake. Now, the snake has a outer scale covering. Just kind of like a knight has on a suit of armor, the snake scales protect it. So snake scales are actually made up of a material called keratin. Keratin is that same thing that makes up our fingernails and our toenails. So just like our fingernails and toenails protect our fingers and toes, snake scales protect that delicate body of a snake. Our next animal is one that we saw in our skit, but it's also a mammal. The armadillo. The armadillo has a hard outer shell similar to a turtle, but it's a little bit different. The armadillo shell actually has bands that allow it to roll up so that it can protect its soft inner body parts, like its belly and its head and its legs. So an interesting thing about this armadillo shell is that the little tiny pieces that make up the broad shell are actually in the shape of a hexagon. Our next mammal isn't one that you'll necessarily find at Shangri-La, but you'll be able to find in other parts of Texas. That's the porcupine. Now, the porcupine has this unique adaptation of quills. Now, contrary to popular belief, porcupines cannot throw their quills at you, but they are so loosely attached that if you get stuck with them, they'll come right out of the porcupine. So these porcupine quills have an end that's barbed. Think of the end of your fish hook, and that fish hook is made so your fish doesn't come off. The same thing with these porcupine quills. They have barbs on them, so once that predator gets them stuck, they're not coming out. The other neat thing about these porcupine quills is that they're hollow, so they're very lightweight. So when you see a porcupine, it looks huge covered in all those quills. He's probably not very heavy. Up next is a fish, the gar. Now, the gar has very thick, tough, diamond-shaped scales. These scales protect its body. Think about the gar. It lives in dark, murky waters where it might need to protect itself from a predator, say an alligator, who knows. These thick scales help the gar to protect itself. So interesting fact, these gar scales are actually very sharp and have been used historically by Native Americans as a sharp cutting tool. Oh, hey guys, we've been talking all about different covers that animals have for protection. Let's talk about furs. So this animal you might recognize as a gray squirrel. Gray squirrels spend some time on the ground looking for food and hiding caches of food that they might find in the winter, but these squirrels are made for camouflage. Now, I know you might be thinking, well, what do you mean, Katie? Well, if you look at this squirrel fur, it's gray. And what color is tree bark? That's right, it's gray. So if a squirrel's on the outside of a tree, he's going to be hard to see. Think about this, though. Why would this squirrel have a light-colored belly? Right. If he's up high in the trees and you're a predator and you're looking up trying to look at him, it's going to be hard to see that white belly against the outline of that blue sky and those white clouds. Our last animal is a mammal, just like that gray squirrel. But instead of that gray squirrel that hides with camouflage, this guy has warning colors. He says, "Stay away from me." Skunks spray a putrid smell out of their scent glands that warns predators, "Hey mister, you better stay away." And it sure stinks. Now I know the question you're asking.
No, this guy doesn't sting.
We've learned all about the different adaptations and coverings that animals have that help them survive in their niche. Challenge time. I challenge you to design your own armor. Design it any way you want. And let us know what purpose it serves and how it's protecting you. It could be camouflaged, you might hide. It can be a warning scent like that skunk. Or it might be protective armor, like a lot of our other reptiles have. So form your own armor and let us know what you made.